is Saturday today. We have a new day and my camcorder have finished charging, and that's very rare because it takes like more than 24 hours to charge it. So it's cold and grey again today, and I'm not feeling so well today because I have recorded too many videos. I have not slept enough for many weeks, and it's very cold. Every day is very cold, and I'm getting stress of all this problem with my money. So I just took a hot shower and the shaving yesterday, but I took another hot shower. But I like to continue reading my GeForce. I just buy an old toy steam engine for toys. So they buy some water low of calcium. That's some special water low on calcium. You use on an iron. You use that in toy steam engines for toys, because that's too much calcium in normal water, and it damages this toy steam engines. So I just spent $200 from my saving to do this, so that's not so good. Yes, I need a minute to do myself ready. So I'm not feel so well today because I'm tired, and I have eaten yesterday too much chips and candy. So I have throw out my chips and candy. I have throw out in the garbage, and I have to stop eat this.
GeForce 7 Series.
Stop.
GeForce 7 Series Nvidia.
I've got to raise the speakers. So let's try to read more and spend some of the power on the camcorder. Let's do the 700 series and then the 800s. I have the 8 and 900 thing. Got the 800 there. And I got the 900 I have already downloaded, so I don't need to do anything, just record. So let's do that. I need a minute, so I'm not feeling so well today, because I feel tired and I'm freezing a little bit and stressed. But I'm not feeling bad. But I like to continue to do this. I enjoy to do this, read about this.
GeForce 7 Series. GeForce 7 Series Nvidia GeForce 7 Series.jpg. Release date June 22, 2005. Codename G7X. NV47 Architecture Cura Models GeForce and Force Series GeForce SE Series. GeForce La Series. GeForce GS Series. GeForce GT Series. GeForce GT Series. GeForce GTX Series. GeForce GX2 Series. Card Cetra level 7025705007100715073007350750 mid-range 76007650 high-end 7800 enthusiast 790079 support. The GeForce 7 series is the 7th generation of Nvidia's GeForce graphics processing units. This was the last series available on AGP cards. A slightly 1 Modified GeForce 7 based card, more specifically based on the 7800 GTX, is present as the RSX Reality Synthesizer, which is present on the PlayStation 3. Features. The following features are common to all models in the GeForce 7 series except the GeForce 7100, which lacks GCAA, gamma-corrected anti-aliasing Intel Example 4.0. Scalable Link Interface, SLI. Turbo Cache. Nvidia Pure Video. The GeForce 7 supports hardware acceleration for H.264, but this feature was not used on Windows by Adobe Flash Player until the GeForce 8 series. GeForce 7100 series. The 7100 series was introduced on the 30th of August 2006 and is based on GeForce 6200 series architecture. This series supports only PCI Express interface. Only one model, the 7100GS, is available. 2. Features. The 7100 series supports all of the standard features common to the GeForce 7 series provided it is using the ForceWare 91.47 driver later releases, though it lacks OpenCL/CUDA support, and its implementation of Intel Example 4.0 lacks GCAA. The 7100 series does not support technologies such as high dynamic range rendering, HDR, and Ultra Shadow 2. GeForce 7100GS. Although the 7300 LA was originally intended to be the lowest budget GPU from the GeForce 7 lineup, the 7100GS has taken its place, as it is little more than a revamped version of the Direct 3D 9.0 C-Shader Model 3.0 OpenGL 2.1 History Predecessor GeForce 6 Series Successor GeForce 8 Series Support Status Unsupported. GPU Nvidia G71 GeForce 6200 TC. It is designed as a basic PCIe solution for OEMs to use if the chipset does not have integrated video capabilities. It comes in a PCI Express graphics bus and up to 512 MB DDR2 RAM. Performance specifications: graphics bus, PCI Express. Memory interface, 64 bits. Memory bandwidth, 5.3 GB/s. Fill rate, 1.4 billion pixel/s. Vertex/s. 263 million. Memory type, DDR2 with TC. GeForce 7200 series. The 7200 series was introduced the 8th of October, 2006 and is based on G72 architecture. It is designed to offer a low-cost upgrade from integrated graphics solutions. This series supports only PCI Express interface. Only one model, the 7200GS, is available. 3. Features. In addition to the standard GeForce 7 series features, the 7200 series supports the following features: high dynamic range rendering, Ultra Shadow 2, CineFX 4.0 engine. However, it is important to note that 7200 series does not support Scalable Link Interface, SLI. GeForce 7200GS. The 7200GS has the same memory speed as the 7300GS, and the core frequency is the same as the 7300 LA. It has 2 pixel pipelines. Nvidia stated that the 7200GS performance is 50% higher than the latest integrated graphics. It's the slowest card of the GeForce 7 series and of the GeForce 6 series, but supports HDR and Nvidia Pure Video. Nvidia GeForce 7200GS desktop graphics processing unit was launched in January 2006. The GPU uses second-generation CineFX shading architecture, and it is manufactured on 90nm technological process. The card's graphics frequency is 450 MHz. It also has 2 pixel shaders, 4 texture units, together with 2 ROPs. The GeForce 7200 GS embeds 256 MB of DDR2 memory, utilizing 64-bit bus. The memory is clocked at 400 MHz, which results in 6.4 GB/s memory bandwidth. The GPU supports PCI Express 1.0 interface, and needs a single motherboard slot. GeForce 7300 series. Nvidia designed the 7300 series to be entry-level gaming video cards. 4 models were available: the 7300 GT, the 7300 GS, the 7300 LE, and the 7300 SE. For this series was released to replace the older GeForce 6200 series. Features. In addition to the standard GeForce 7 series features, the 7300 series supports following advanced features: high dynamic range rendering, Ultra Shadow 2, CineFX 4.0 engine, GeForce 7300 SE. The 7300 SE uses the same core frequency and memory speed as the 7300 LE, and has 2 vertex and pixel shaders. In many ways, this card is actually inferior to the 7100 GS, although it still retains the HDR support. GeForce 7300 LE. The 7300 LE stands for Light Edition, is a scaled-down version of the 7300 GS. It has DDR2 memory and a slightly lower core clock speed, 450 MHz versus 550 MHz. It is only available in the PCI Express interface. Asus have produced a 7300 series card based on the 7300 LE core, running it at 580 Ms rather than 450 MHz. GeForce 7300 GS. EVGA GeForce 7300 GS Personal Cinema GB GeForce 7300 GS. The 7300 GS, the highest core clock speed of the 7300 series, thus it has better performance than the 7300 SE/LE. GeForce 7300 GT. The 7300 GT has a 128-bit memory interface and the highest memory bandwidth, but slightly lower 3D vertex rendering. GeForce 7500 series. The 7500 series was only available to OEMs. GeForce 7500 LE, OEM. The GeForce 7500 LE is an OEM GPU and is identical to the 7300 GS based on the G72 core. It has either 128 MB or 256 MB of dedicated video memory. However, it also supports turbo cache, giving it up to 512 MB of video memory. It has DDR2 type memory and uses 64 bits memory interface. The card also has 550 MHz core clock speed and 263 MHz or 324 MHz memory clock speed, 526 MHz or 648 MHz effective. 5. GeForce 7600 series. Nvidia announced immediate availability of the GeForce 7600 series on the 9th of March, 2006. 2 models were made available, which were the GeForce 7600 GT and 7600 GS. 6. This series was available with AGP and PCI Express interfaces, covering a wide range of market segments. This series was released to replace the older GeForce 6600 series. Features: in addition to the standard GeForce 7 series features, the 7600 series supports following advanced features: high dynamic range rendering, Ultra Shadow 2, Cine FX 4.0 engine, Extreme HD, GeForce 7600 GS. GeForce 7600 GS. On the 22nd of March, 2006, Nvidia announced the immediate availability of the GeForce 7600 GS GPU targeted at the low-mid end. This new GPU assumed the place of the GeForce 6600 GT, which had been around for some time. The AGP version was introduced on the 21st of July, 2006. According to Nvidia, this card is identical to the PCIe version other than the interface. In addition, the AGP version uses Nvidia's AGP's bridge chip. Preliminary testing showed that the GeForce 7600 GS outperforms a GeForce 6600 GT and ATI's counterpart, the ATI Radeon X 1600 Pro. 7. GeForce 7600 GT. The 7600 GT is the high mid-range product in the 7 series family. The 7600 GT contains all the features of the GeForce 7 family. It was made to provide a GeForce 7 series card to the mass market. Some companies released AGP versions. It incorporates DDR3 memory. 8. GeForce 7650 series. Much like the 7500 series, the 7650 GS was only available to OEMs. GeForce 7650 GS, OEM. The GeForce 7650 GS was limited to a few OEM cards only. Not much is known about this card, other than that it uses the ATNM process and uses DDR2 memory, with examples having 256 MB of DDR2 RAM. GeForce 7800 series. Asus GeForce 7650 GS. The 7800 series was designed to deliver exceptional performance and was targeted towards the high-end market segment. This series was discontinued and replaced with the 7900 series in early 2006. A total of 4 models were available: GeForce 7800 GTX 512, GeForce 7800 GTX, GeForce 7800 GT, and GeForce 7800 GS. 9. Features: in addition to the standard GeForce 7 series features, the 7800 series supports following advanced features: high dynamic range rendering, Ultra Shadow 2, Cine FX 4.0 engine, GeForce 7800 GT, GeForce 7800 GT. The GeForce 7800 GT is the second GPU in the series, launched on the 11th of August 2005 with immediate retail availability. It has 20 pixel pipelines, 7 vertex shaders, 16 ROPs and a 400 MHz core clock, 500 MHz memory clock, 1 GHz effective, using GDDR3 memory. The GeForce 7800 GT had been introduced as a more affordable alternative to the 7800 GTX. At the time it was considered the performance/cost champion of video cards. GeForce 7800 GS AGP. On the 2nd of February, 2006, Nvidia announced the 7800 GS as the first AGP video card in the GeForce 7 series lineup. an AGP version of the high-end GeForce 7 Series. 10. A BFG Tech 7800 GS AGP. This card was promoted by several hardware enthusiasts